League. This week, we've got the Bengali Boom versus the Galactic Water Bears. It should be a good map coming up here for this game.
Yeah, we have this should be a very interesting match. We have both two 1-on-1 teams kind of going on the opposite sides of the up and down spectrum, I suppose, if you will. Because when I need to think about my words here, what I want to go with. But, so, with the Bengali Boom and Galactic Water Bears, Boom fell in the first week in a 5-map series. USL Unicorns won last week very handily, a 3-0 fashion. Galactic Water Bears took a pretty solid 3-0 victory against a Honey Bunch of Ox, I believe, in week 1, but fell last week to, I forget their opponent. But yeah, we are starting off here on Nepal, and I mean, when you think of Nepal, you don't really think of the brawl composition, which is really what the Galactic Water Bears like to run, so if I had to make an assumption, I do like the Bengali Boom here, but I did forget they have Uberzerker, who really enjoys playing that Reinhardt as well, so it should be maybe a brawl on brawl, but starting off here, we have the horse for Uberzerker, and I like that pick a lot more in this map, especially with the Torbjorn, if they're going to stick with that. You know, that spam style on Nepal is... It brings a lot of damage that the Brawl really can't close in on and finish before they get there. You know, your Reinhardt shows up, he's already burning from Ash or getting pulled backwards and dying immediately, so I do like the swap here, but I want to point out, though, Triste is also on the main take instead of Shitty Fish, but she's still playing Reinhardt. I don't really see the point in that then, but I guess I get Trey on the support like you wanted to play, so...
Indeed, and we see here we've already got the Galactic Water Bears thing on this right side of the map, while the Bengali Boom are taking these long side angles. Instantly, Papa Triste kills Jack with a Fire Strike, but the res comes off. Boom's flying in, trying to make a little bit of space and make a play. HVSec kills Flomdog. Jack gets Triste, and Withering Boy gets Jack, and that looks like it's going to be a pretty scrappy fight starting off here, as the Water Bears start moving towards point. Boom flies in and just gets instantly demeched, however, by HVSec there, and Sin gets the kill.
And that all comes back to that first pick onto I believe it might have been Jack with that flame strike from Triste, just chucking that in from way downtown, and really just stopping that fighting before it began allows the Brawl to close the dishes. No more spam damage coming in here, and now look at the ults coming up. HVSec with another pick here, already farming a lot of kills this lobby. They're just gonna push forward right into this and not allow them to regroup. It looks like they're gonna try to get another pick on the Mercy, and they will. So. I mean, this fight's already over, and they use the sim wall as well, just walking even more forward in the spawn.
It's certainly a commitment here with the sim wall, but they're just going in and it's kind of stuff the enemy team back into their spawn. I mean, they're trying to get all the points they can on there, or all the percentage they can on this point, and certainly they're doing that.
I mean, that's what you want to do, but you lose HVSec. That's not what you want to do. You want to take that fight early.
Down to Boom there, and yeah, that's not good for them. That's a pretty big damage source. So the Grav and the Window are committed. And Jack throws out the Bob. Triste gets 2, however, and the Bob's still just... it's burned now. The bomb invested by Boom. It's a very scrappy fight, but it's looking like the Boomer on top of this as Flomdog gets off the res on Psycho.
Yeah, they use that supercharger a little early there, but it buys the space for Boom to get that remake back in the fight with the res from Flomdog, so it's definitely winnable here. The getting Sin at the end is probably going to bring it back quite in their favor.
However, the Galactic Water Bears come out with 2 picks, however, and a DMAC on the Boom. Oh, excuse me, that's part of the... Papa Triste shatters, however, and just says, no, you don't get the point, and what seemed like a lost fight has just suddenly shifted right back into their hands, thanks to a nice DMAC and a double kill. And
yeah, that 2-man shatter from Triste clean up at the end is definitely what they needed, but so many ults used by the Boom and their spawn, you get that space that you want. Talking about that supercharge in the bomb, but you get nothing out of it, so once you get to that point, that Brawl is there, Akua able to do a bit of a flank angle and get the kills, beam him down from behind, and now we're going in here, they have another wall to use.
Indeed, and Hefe comes out with the Window, but HVSec replies with a Deadeye and gets 2. Points going to be flipped here, but it not even going to be flipped, only halfway, but it seems just too little too late from the Boom there.
And yeah, I mean, I really wanted the Boom to just reset, because the entire time they were just walking in and dying very slowly to the Brawl composition. If they're able to get together as one unit and kind of just walk forward and try to stop or just keep spamming, they need to play a little bit slower. I mean, you did see the Water Bears just walk into their spawn, so yeah, at that point, there has to be a swap. I mean, the Ashe was just getting walked on, wasn't really getting the support that she needed from the team, so it's a little rough, but this point, it's more Brawl style. You have Uberzerker back on that Reinhardt, what they're known for, and, I mean, Jack was trying to do something on the Ashe, but he really couldn't get anything done, so now
Yeah, that space they just kept trying. They needed just kept getting stuffed, and you know the double shield kind of thrives on that space, but they just couldn't get it.
I
And
also
now
want to see. I want to see
here,
Boom swap to Zarya as well. I mean, the Diva just getting melted by Withering, and there's really nothing to eat, especially with the Ku on the Symmetra. There's really nothing to eat to find that advantage within the Diva pick. So I
and you
want to see
can't
that
get that
swap.
beam for certain. However, Boom goes in here, tries to do something, but he just gets pushed away as Papa Triste and Uber Zeker are just kind of standing at each other. And Akua gets the first kill onto Uber, and that's going to allow Triste just to walk in a little bit. Both lamps are used for each team. And so we've got just Akua walking forward with the beam. I mean, he's doing Symmetra things, and Flomdog and Psycho get caught out. Boom gets a kill on HVSec in the back and is just sitting on point, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to get anything with it, as the Tracer from Jack is just going to have to run away.
Yeah, and then Uber Zerker kind of staggers himself out there towards the end, and they got to do a reset. It's a weird composition they're running, especially for the DPS line with Jack, and they got the legs and the Tracer with this brawl style. So the Symmetra, Courier, or Cassidy are able to get so much more value in the front line against these tanks here. And walking in this fight, Tracer can have Shatter. They also have the Sim Wall as well as the window. So look for a pretty early fight win here.
And the window's there, and Papa Trister's already killed Uber, and that's just probably going to have to be a backup from the Boom. Jack invests the Pulse Bomb, and unfortunately it just didn't hit anything for him.
I mean, that's got to signify a swap in my opinion. I don't know if Jack's going to stick with this Tracer.
And like you said, it's just that the DPS difference, and as it's just kill after kill for the Water Bears here, the Boom they have nothing on them currently.
There just really is nothing to do here. Uber has that Shatter, but there's just so much damage coming at his face basically 24/7 with HV and Akua following Triste in. She still has this Shatter. Uber Zerka has his as well, though, so Hefe could look to invest a window here to get an early window Flame Striker, perhaps a bomb to open the point.
A bomb comes in, and the Shatter comes, but the bomb gets none. That's just a really nice bubble there from Withering. The Slam comes down, it gets 2, and HVSec just pops the High Noon to try to get something there, and again, it's just looking like another quick roll for the Galactic Water Bears. Again, this DPS line's not able to keep up with the damage from the others, so Uber Zeker's just dying every fight, getting called out, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Triste hits that nice Shatter, it gets both supports down, Hefe can't use that window in time, and I mean, they use both tank ults to get really nothing for it, and they still have the Graviton Surge as well as the Sound Barrier from Shifty Fish. Trey has yet another window to pop down here as well, so I'm expecting the Water Bears take this pretty handily, unless Boom gets a fat eat in the Flame Strike or something, but we'll have to see what happens with this window.
Approach, but the Grav comes out. A pick from Jack, but he's also dead, so it's a trade. Akua gets Hefe here, 2, and again, it's just looking like another quick kill. It's very one-sided, and then Flomdog dies mid-beat in air, and that's gonna get the point out for the Galactic Water Bears, and that's the map.
And I mean, I was talking about it before the fight before the map really began, that the brawl doesn't really work on Nepal, but I mean, the Village it does work, but here also as well, if you're running the Symmetra, playing as aggressive as the Water Bears do, that comp's going to work out for you, especially with the odd DPS choice. I mean the Soldier can find value, especially with Withering not on that Zarya or on that Diva, really unmitigated damage, but just wasn't able to pelt it in as Akua walks forward with a beam. So basically, the off tank's not playing the optimal, selections against their opponents, but at the end of the day, it does not really matter, as we have the Galactic Water Bears taking that map off the back of Akua with 74% kill participation, 34 elims. Pretty staggering statistics on the Symmetra.
A very well played from Akua there. And instantly, you've already got a roster swap coming up from the Galactic Water Bears. Shifty, Bashi, HV, Akua, Triste, Withering Boy. It's what our comp was going to be for this next map, which will be the Bengali Boom's pick.
It's the Boom's pick, but I don't go to Kings Row against Galactic Water Bears. You know, I always say don't take the Minnesota Mini Minx, the Bendigo Bilbies, or the Galactic Water Bears to Kings Row, because they don't lose, but they did lose it last week. So if you feel comfortable, and for the first time in over a season, they didn't lose it all in season 3. But yeah, they of course won the first week of season 1. So the curse has been lifted, I suppose. You can actually take them there and have a chance of winning, but I still don't think that's the optimal pick. But with Uber Zerker, is a very good Reinhardt player, but doesn't play very much else. So you can't say, hey, let's go to Nambani, because the Reinhardt will struggle on Nambani. If you especially
certainly is flexible on the Reinhardt or on the main tank, whereas Uber is known pretty much for his Reinhardt. I'm certain he has the other tanks, but I don't know if it's ideal for him as his Rhine is. So I agree that Numbani might not be our pick here, and King's Row does seem plausible, but I just, I agree with you that I would not try to take the shifty tree stay HV sec team to King's Row. So we might see something like a Blizzard World for the first time this season, I think.
We saw Blizzard World in week 1 with the Hydro Homies and the Falcon Phoenixes. We saw Blizzard World. I know because I got destroyed on that map. So, okay, so we have Boom swapping over onto the DPS. We have seen that before, and we are going to Nimbani as well. Nimbani is going to be the map. So I guess with the swap, we maybe Boom playing the Genji, something like that. Not exactly sure, but hopefully Uber can pull something out. Maybe surprise us with the Winston gameplay.
And I think that's might be what we see. Though I do remember in the past we've seen Uber play Reinhardt on Numbani, just force it down, and it's worked for them before. But that's from previous seasons. I'm not certain about this one, so it's gonna be interesting to see what this team does.
Yeah, and of course Trey going out as well is kind of a big storyline I kind of want to focus on here. I'm not exactly sure, maybe just to get Bashi some playtime, maybe just the SRs to quite work out with Trey in there. But Trey's a big part of this team. When that played a very solid support on that last map there. So we'll have to.
He did play quite a solid map that last map.
One could say even excellent. I don't know how many deaths he had. He might have had 0 deaths. And
I saw him in the kill feed a bit, and it was majority on the left side. So
if your Baptiste can get that value, you're feeling pretty good. But
indeed,
I do want to say
coming out with a monkey.
If we get a cool on the Genji, it's a treat because I remember specifically in Mbani last year on the PMA Privateers, Akua had a god performance on the Genji, but just sadly couldn't bring it home with the Nano Blades. But we're just gonna see an Uber is on that monkey, so. We have Uber and Shifty. Shifty says kind of flexible, but he is very known for that Reinhardt play. So we got 2 main tanks perhaps not on the most comfortable roles. And Jack on the Torb. Jack was having a pretty good showing on the Torbjorn in their last match, so perhaps showing out here as well. But love to see this tank line of the Galactic Water Bears not as practiced as the one they previously had. So I'm really interested to see how this works out.
It should be noted the Mercy pick from the Galactic Water Bears here with nothing really to pocket. I'm not quite certain what that's doing there, but maybe they're going for something with the pocketing the Genji, and Jack just gets a cheeky kill on HV with a turret. You don't like seeing that as a tracer for certain. As Shifty Fish just walks down on the point and tries to jump back up and just can't quite make it as HV Sec kills Hefe, however.
I mean, it's not done just yet with HV still in the backline. They do that dive, but a nice sleep hits Uber Zerker, but he's there for the peel, so nothing really found of value on either side just as yet.
A very slow fight here as Bashi's just out of mech having to walk back. As Jack's just pressuring onto Akua, who's walking forward at 80 HP. And again, it's just a very slow fight. Nothing's really happening here. We've got Uber Zerker trying to push back the support line, and Shifty jumps in on the Torb. But then there's the peel, and Shifty's just melted instantly.
Oh, very early core as well.
First point. Maybe a bit premature for the core, but Akua with the blade that just doesn't quite work out much more than Uber Zeker, and then Boom gets the Deadeye on HV Sec. And again, this is just a very quick fight for the Bengali Boom and pushing the Galactic Water Bears back to spawn.
Yeah, I do not like that blade at all, especially with Withering only being 2% for the Nano. At the time you popped the blade Akua, they were like 5% away from the Nano, so you could just wait a little bit longer, or even held it, because you were down quite a bit that fight. You didn't have your mech, you didn't have your main tank. Maybe you thought it was turnable, but I don't know. Using blade there with no Nano was a little rough on the eyes, but you did force out some ults. And you're coming in here with your support ults, so you could find something, but Bashi still doesn't have mech, so you can't really engage just yet.
Bashi's still just out of mech, and he's 76% out, and he's 20% out till, he's... Shifty Fish jumps in, though, with the Nano, but they all just back into that back left corner, and he can't really get up there. He jumps up, and he's keeping alive right now. They get away with killing Uber here. Ribro's demeched, and this fight seems to be going a lot better for him, as Jack's just standing inside the team. Nanoed now, walking forward. Akua's built another blade, however, already in this time, and it seems like this is going to be going a lot better for the Galactic Water Bears. As the point is just capped in the background silently as the fight is going up atop.
Yeah, I mean, Uber dies with the Primal Rage, not able to stall it out with the squad, forced to reset here as well. Just use the Primal Rage like down 5, just jumps off the map, maybe swapping to the Reinhardt, but you try to re-engage with that rally, but Akua built a very fast blade right back, able to dive in there with no nano needed, and find that one kill on the Jack, which is all that's really needed. Jack swaps off the Torb on the Tracer as well, so... I mean, look at the ults. There's nothing aside from the Ribro bomb and Boom's High Noon, so I don't see a really big, ult battle coming on here. It's going to be a kind of a fight of mechanical skill here on the top ropes.
Ribro's just kind of sitting inside the Galactic Water Bears team. He bombs this, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get out alive. Oh, he does. The remix comes out. Uber actually gets a kill, but Bashi gets a kill onto Boom here. And Papa Triste is just able to revive Bashi, who's going to get the remake. Oh, but he walks a bit forward trying to do a little bit of the funny squish maneuver and gets punished for it.
I want to point out the entire time this fight's happening, Jack is just stalling carts single-handedly right now, by the way. Gets slipped up, but...
Oh, but Withering gets him with a beautiful sleep and the follow-up with a nade. And now the Galactic Water Bears are just going to kind of sit on cart here and try to get the progress they can. Shifty's looking for a jump. He dives in on Flomdog. Peel comes out from Ribro, however, and Shifty's just going to have to back away with a sad monkey, not able to really get these follow-ups. He jumps back in, though, with the Prime ones, doing that. And while all this is going on, Akua gets 2. He gets both Boom and Uberzerker. And Point's just capped. Again, there's just nobody there stopping Point. They're taking these fights in these weird places and not on the cart. And it's just letting the Water Bears cap without any problems.
Yeah, I don't really see why their comp is not working in that fight specifically, why they can't find more value, because they're running Brawled in this small room against a dive, and still nothing dies. I don't know what was exactly happening there. The pulse was from Jack as well, so we gotta get some miracles going on here for the Bengali Boon to bring this back. With already 3 minutes and a half in the bank, we have Nanoblade it for Akua. He's ready to go.
And a miracle indeed, and Akua gets stunned out of his blade, but he's still there. He's they can't quite get the follow-up on him. He gets Boom, and Ribro's bomb kills Withering and Demex Bashi. And it seems like this fight might finally start going the way of the Bengali Boom. And certainly, this is, if there's any map or any point on this map for Reinhardt to work, it would be this one. So
exactly,
this is finally coming to fruition here. It couldn't quite get there on second, but now it's getting a little bit more value, and and swaps instantly.
They use that Nano Blade, but it gets 1 kill, but it gets slept from across the map by Hefe, so a big play from the boss on the Ana. And now they're starting to engage here yet again, but they have Rally, they have Pulse, they have Shatter, so a lot of ults here in favor of the Bengali Boom. It could perhaps be the start of a big defense here. Shitty Fish gets getting walked on right now.
Doesn't quite get anyone with the Pulse, and just a beautiful slam there. Gets 4, maybe? 3, 4?
It gets a lot.
It gets a lot. Bashi throws out the bomb and gets Uber, but again, you're just kind of in this weird state where it's kind of hard to walk in. But as I say this, Akua's going hard in the paint along with Bashi. Not quite much happening though. Ribro gets the DMEC onto Bashi, and the Nano comes out onto Jack, who instantly dies to a Papa Triste shield bash follow-up. And then HVSec gets a kill on Hefe. It's looking suddenly a lot better as Boom throws out the High Noon and can't quite get anyone.
Oh, no.
This fight is, I'm not really sure what's happening. Akua goes down to the bomb from Ribro, and a Shifty Fish is just dead, just swinging on Point by himself, and it is absolutely destroyed by that Tracer. And I believe it was the
yeah, Flomdog is kind of having a hero performance right now. On that, able to bash Akua in the middle of that bomb and not allow them to escape. They had Nano Blade ready to go, but Akua falls to Ribro's bomb just because of that bash from Flomdog. So
yeah, certainly
pretty big play from Flomdog. Still has that rally. Still have another pulse bomb as well from Jack. But you have Nano Blade, you have Rally here for the Galactic Water Bears, so it's very doable here. But it looks to be under 1 minute left and time bank is going to be done. So I don't know if you'll get that perhaps a drawable only situation for him as they start to move forward. Bashi still doesn't have mech, by the way. Bashi is just sitting there with no mech.
It's certainly not an engagement you want to take, but they have the rally, and it's Akua winning by a lot here, as he just goes in and he gets 3, and now it's just Jack left on Point to stagger or to try to stall things out. We're gonna get a touch here, more than likely. The Brig rally comes to give the speed boost to everyone, and Ribro's here on Point as well. The Shatter comes, gets the Brig, and Shifty just charges in a nice counterpinned by Uber. And it's suddenly the kills are starting to show blue. The kills are showing blue as Jack's just getting value on this Tracer here. Akua gets Hefe. Again, it's just another very scrappy fight as it's going both ways. The bomb comes out, and boom, as Bashi gets a 3K. That's a 3K from Bashi on the Diva with the bomb, and Akua and Bashi are here just to kill Uber on point, and that's going to be the cap, as Hefe just can't quite touch in time.
And with time to spare, too, if that bomb doesn't go off, you at best cap it overtime, and it's that drawable only situation, so a huge play from Bashi there on the off-tank. And I mean, even the fight before, we didn't really get too much to talk about it because it's just a scrappy engage. You know, they use the rally to engage with Papa Teresa, but they don't take that space right away. They wait for Akua to get ready for a Nano Blade. But a beefed up Genji with Brig Armor, with Rally, and a Nano is basically unkillable, and that's why Akua's able to go in there with no fear and find through the Nano Blade, open it right up for him. And at the end, I mean, it was the Jack and Boom show. We're trying to bring it back for the Bengali Boom, but the Bashi with the hero play, the big bomb, the 3K. Stops it right in his tracks, and is very close. Hefe almost touched and perhaps could have got to overtime, but everything fell at the right time, basically, for that to go through. And
just not quite enough from the Bengali Boom there, though. They certainly had a much better showing on third point than any of the others. And we're seeing a very similar comp coming out for the Galactic Water Bears here on defense, just with HVSec on Torbjorn and Akua on the Echo character.
Yeah, but I mean, you have another Echo Mercy Pocket on the other side as well, so they're gonna kind of negate each other out with the dogfight up in the sky. But it's gonna be Boom on the Hanzo, able to take out the turret from afar and then allow the Dio to engage. So I like that pick there from Boom on the Hanzo. Basically tries to stop HVSec from finding as much value as Jack did on the initial defense. So we'll see if it works out because Boom can just poke from main, get some damage in, allow Uber and Ribro to go on the supports.
Certainly. Now we've got Uber and Ribro approaching with the rest of their team, and Akua's 15% already after landing a nice stickies there, thanks to the pocketed Echo, as Jack starts to take this off angle on the coast. And suddenly Uber Zeker is just in the field. I mean, and Hefe finds one. Witherin gets Jack, however. Sorry, Jack gets one. Witherin gets Jack. And the res comes out from the side of the booms. The boom.
The boom.
Sorry, I'm stumbling over words here.
The boom squared.
Indeed.
But I mean, we saw Boom is just taking out his turret, but HPC gets it back up, and yeah, they.
HPC gets Boom, and Jack gets Witherin. It's a very trade-heavy fight thus far, as Uber just dives in, and a huge anti coming out from Hefe, and the. Oh my goodness, the Nano's already there, and Uber's just able to walk in on Bashi, and this is going to be a very quick cleanup and cap, it seems like, because that was just a very good play. I mean, Hefe, you have to give credit where it's due. He built Nano there super quick, and then the anti there is just able to win that fight for him.
Yep, that's the boss at work right there. Hefe has that huge anti-nade onto HVSec as well as Bashi, force him to retreat, and the dive comes in to follow that up, and then Nano boost on Uber as well, helps him build that problem rage here for this fight, so huge play from Hefe there at the end. And we look at the Echoes are pretty close to one another in terms of the ult charge, so the duplicate is going to be coming here soon. We have a dragon on the horizon, and really only duplicate here for the Galactic Wildbear, so this defense could fall or unless they get a pick here on the dive.
And we've had HVSec swap to the Cassidy character instead of Torbjorn after such a quick loss. The dragons come out, it does a lot of damage, and Akua's sitting at half HP, but he just goes in fearless, gets the dupe on the monkey.
Please heal Bashi.
And they're just going in.
Oh no!
I'm not, again, Shifty Fish is just deep inside the enemy lines, but they're not able to really do anything about him, and Akua comes out with the primal range of his own in that dupe. Shifty gets Boom and Hefe, and it's looking like, yep, this is a quick flip for the Galactic Water Bears. Now they're able to get a bit more of a defensive hold, stand still, kind of take ground again, and set up for this next fight.
Hefe hits that sleep on the duplicated Echo in primal rage form, but somebody wakes him up almost immediately. That's very sad if you're Hefe, but you have the Nano Boost, you have the bomb, you have a lot to use here, so... But they do have 3 ults coming up for the Galactic Wild Bears as well, but none of them really fight winning unless Bashi gets another hero bomb off. I expect Uber to go in here with perhaps a Nano Boosting and hit a Rumble Rage in the back line.
And Uber indeed does go in, but he doesn't have the Nano, and he's just instantly melted by Akua. The funny beam along with the bombs is just... It just completely melts through him. Now Jack Flomdog does res Jack, who's able to back out, and Shifty gets slept in Primal Rage, but again, somebody wakes him up. Just seems to have a tendency to wake up these primaling monkeys.
Well, you gotta hit the big target.
Yeah, I mean,
increase the stats.
Exactly, it's a lot of damage, and Akua's already built up another duplicate, and he's just already back in, and he's got the primal. He's able to go in and just HV Sec gets Jack, and we've got Akua primaling Boom away, just juggling at him, and he's gonna die here, it seems, but no, he gets out. He doesn't even lose his form there. As Shifty gets Boom. The Nano is invested onto Uber, but he's not really got anywhere to go, and as I say that, he dives in for a huge cleave and gets Wither in here, as Jack gets Shifty. But we're seeing a lot of red, however, still. The Water Bears are getting a lot of kills. Akua is playing very well this map. He's playing a very mean Echo, and Cassidy ult is invested by HV Sec, but it gets nothing. I'm not quite sure where that was. Uber is able to primal HV Sec. Ribro gets Bashi, but Akua's got a kill of his own that's instantly rezzed. It seems like this fight's finally going to go in the favor of the Bengali Boom, and they're going to be able to continue this card a little bit down into point B.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on anymore. This is such a scrappy game. There's like 5 dives going on, and basically at every single moment. I mean, we saw Akua use a duplicate early, go in. They're playing very proactive with Galactic Water, but Akua has another duplicate. So you'd probably save that Nano for Shitty Fish to build that primary for a stall on B if you need to. But Ribro has the bomb to make some space and prevent that touch from coming in on B here and getting down to point C. But they're all right there. They're all set up and ready to go. They need to be proactive here. The Bengali Boom playing a little softer, feeling a little scared.
Akua just goes in, no fear, and starts doing his work. But but now Jax gets a double kill, and Bashi with yet another double kill bomb. He's been getting great value off those ultimates, which you don't normally always see from a diva. He's just been landing them.
Yeah, Bashi been hitting them.
Crazy Flames type beat, and Shifty gets the kill onto Hefe, and Akua is just getting that mad value. I believe that's three diva bombs.
They count the C9.
But they C9. Boom wastes high noon, but I don't think he really cares there because the point's capped.
Oh.
Akua gets the kill on a Flomdog, and Hefe kills Akua, and then we've just got the Bengali Boom just able to walk in now. Bashi's back in mech, but I think they still just need to hard hit the reverse because there's only 3 versus a whole team of 6.
That just hurt my bones. My bones are hurting. That was a C9 of all proportions, man.
That was certainly a fight that was incredibly in the favor of the Galactic Water Bears, and then suddenly they just decide to no longer stand on the point. And as this is happening, Bashi's out of mech now, and Shifty's primal to Boom in the back line. A bomb's invested here by Ribro, or excuse me, the Jack dupe. As he's able just to walk in, but he's standing by himself inside the entire enemy team. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one, but they just can't quite get him. It's an Echo helmet. He just is able to get away.
Just gets out because of Echo. And the Nano Uber Zerk as well in the backline has Primal Rage. The High Noon gets nothing from HP Sec, but will they get the picks? It doesn't look like it. I think the defense is finally going to stabilize here.
The defense
unless they get a pick. Oh, that's maybe.
Boom comes out with the pick on Shifty, and that's a High Noon. Unfortunately, Bashi's able to eat it. Unfortunately for Boom, I should say. But suddenly, it's looking not too bad for the Boom. It looks like they might be able to cap this point with even more time, which is certainly unexpected. They walk onto Bashi. Bashi's dead here, thanks to the beam and Uber working together. Akua, however, is just primal raging in the back and getting a lot of value in the Nano, and it's almost looked like about another C9 almost happened there, but certainly Akua's going to die soon here, and that's just going to be the cap for the Boom.
They find Flomdog.
The spawns are coming in. Flomdog and Bashi are back. Akua, he's just not being dealt with. The bomb comes out from both Ribro and Bashi. And Ribro gets the funny remech ability as Shifty swapped to Ryan for a last second contest, but it's not enough, and we're going to be sitting here with a 1 minute 22 seconds to 1 minute on the clock.
I still don't know what's going on. I'm trying to spectate this, but everybody's just all over the place right now. It's just really great plays coming out here from the Bengali Boom to clutch it out here. I mean, of course, it's assisted by the tactical Charlie Niner of the Galactic Water Bears on that point. After Bosch already finds 2, and they get another kill in the back of Jack's duplicate.
I suppose they
So
thought they owed them after the two almost, I mean, practical C9s of the first half, where just the Boomer sitting in the back and quite not unable, to reach point, and then now they just get refunded here
and then
as
we
the water
have we have
just
Jack
built up.
back on this Torbjorn here. We have Akua on that Echo, not playing the Genji this time into the Torbjorn. I think the Echo's gonna work a lot better. Is able to take out that turret from away from large distances and set up your dive yet again on the back line. Basically, what the Bengali Boom did with the Boom Hanzo is take out the turret, and the tanks went in and got the kills on the support with the assist of Hefe, of course. But I think it's rough. Nimbani A for 1 minute is always a tough ask. Unless maybe Akua gets a big mind sticky at the beginning and can build that duplicate very quickly. Basically, I think Withering has to do what Hefe did and hit a fat Anthony down supports and just walk in.
Just a very fast nano being built here by Withering is, I would assume, the game plan here. And as we say this approach, and Shifty's looking to get ready for a dive as Bashi's already taken up on this high ground. And Shifty goes for it. He jumps in on Jack.
But he's alone.
He's alone. He has no follow-up there. I mean, his team's not there. And HV6 in the back, asleep, Brig Bash. He's able to get out somehow, and Bashi kills the turret of Jack, so that's a little bit of that long-range poke on. Going to make life a little bit easier for Shifty as he's just standing on point. He invests the bubble, but he's not got really anywhere to go. He jumps up, and he's somehow not quite punished yet. And this fight's just a very slow one. Akua and Bashi are kind of working together as a little hit squad here, but HV6 suddenly gets Ribro here, just out of nowhere. Jack gets Akua, but Akua gets Boom before he goes down. We have Papatrice, who has built the Valkyrie ability, and she's going to get the res off on Akua. And certainly that's what you want to see, as HV6 throws out the Pulse Bomb, doesn't quite connect with anyone. And Bashi, helping Bashi and HV6 really just kind of coming out to win this one, I would say. Of course, with the help of Akua and certainly the Valkyrie from Papatrice there. As Hefe and Flamdog just kind of have to die sadly on point by themselves.
Yeah, there didn't really seem to be a plan of who's going to touch point, so everybody kind of packed and kind of dropped down and single one at a time, single file line and died. And now they look at the ult building up here for the Galactic Water Bears. We could see a pretty big snowball being built here with bomb from Bashi. I mean, apparently guaranteed a 4K at this point with how Bashi would hitting these bombs, and Akua has another duplicate with the nano on a shitty fish. It's going to be pretty hard for Bengali to stabilize here unless Boom has a big tactical visor with nano boost.
We've got the no boost, the tech visor, the rally, and the primal coming up here for the Bengali Boom, but so much progress has been made, and Bashi just chucks out the bomb. It's not quite the 4K we were hoping for, but Boom does start winning bigly here with the nano visor. Hefe goes down though to a Shifty Fish, but Boom's just standing there as the Flamdog invests the rally. And we've got a very scrappy fight going here on point as Shifty's just trying to push everyone back, but Uber's doing the same. The Primaling Monkeys just fighting each other. Akua goes down finally to Boom, and it's starting to look very blue in the kill feed. The pulse comes out from HV Sec, but just doesn't quite connect to anyone other than a Winston bubble. The bomb's invested, which clears card out, and this seems like it should be the time for the Bengali Boom to win.
And yes, and I won't point out the reason the Boom won that fight, I would say, is because the X and Peel from Ribro on Boom there. Akua jumps up with the Echo, with the stickies with the beam, and tries to take down Boom on the high ground as the legs, but Ribro's there to eat those mines just in time, eat a couple of the tri-shots so the beam can't quite kill Boom in time. Allows Boom to stay up in that fight and pelt in the damage from high ground. And, that's a very nice play from Ribro there on the Divya, but you still get basically all of point B, I would say, if you are the Bengali Boom. So you gotta maybe build some win conditions here, maybe a Nano Blade of your own, or, maybe a Grav Dragon or an EMP, something like that. So basically, if you cap A, you have a free fight win in the books for B, and you can take this map home, and it's just to a tied series 1-1. But it looks like they're just going to stick with what they know. Perhaps playing for that the Nano Visor as a win condition, which could definitely work out.
Kind of a strange pick coming out here from the with HVSec on the Junkrat character instead of the Torbjorn, which has been popular on this first point. Maybe looking for a little bit more spam damage, a little bit more poke. I'm not quite sure though what he's exactly trying to do with it here, but better player than me, so certainly we'll see what his idea is.
Yeah, I maybe just putting the trap back there for when they jump up, but I think the Torbjorn is better here. But maybe they're expecting Jack to play the Echo, and it's gonna say, yeah, the Torbjorn's gonna work out here, so we gotta swap and try something else. Akua on the legs as well, so no Echo on the other side. Jack's kind of uncontested in the sky right now, especially it's basically up to Akua to stop this Echo single-handedly. See if they can do it.
And the Bengali Boomer just walking down main, getting ready for a dive. Hefe chucks out the nade. I'm not quite sure at what, but he chucks it out. And the team's just really split right now. We've got 3 down main and 3 on this left-right side here. And Uber goes in, but he's just by himself inside the enemy team. Luckily, Hefe's there to pelt him in with the bullets, and he dives onto HVSec here. Almost gets the kill, but HV barely gets away. And as that's happening, Jack in the background gets a kill onto a Shifty Fish, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that's an Echo Go Burr kind of moment right there. Takes out both the D.Va and the Winston there, the D.Va mech, I should say, and the Winston, so that's why just Echo's a superior
gets
character.
Boom, 10-11, however, and he almost gets Jack there. He hits him with the concussion mine, but it's not quite enough as Flomdog reses Boom, Hefe, D-Mex, Bashi, and Uber finishes the job there, and they're just able to push the Galactic Water Bears away and cap the point.
Yeah, all they're doing is feeding ult charge at that point. Pretty rough, because now look at the ult bank. You almost have all 6 ults building up here for the Bengali Boom, just for one final push.
And that's certainly a position you want to see yourself in coming up for the final, or what could be the final fight, but with 6 ults likely we're to see, it's not going to be that.
I mean, yeah, you have Nanovisor for the Galactic Water Bears, but that's literally it. It's going to be kind of rough to try to get something done. It's up to Akua to pull up a hero play. Same position, but they're going to nano in Uber, and a big Antony from Hefe on the back. They're forced to retreat. And look at Uber going Uber and Jack going so deep.
And Shifty's just not quite able to really peel that well for him, but as I say that, Jack's just kind of floating out by himself, but 4 members of the team are just kind of back dealing with that. Meanwhile, HVSec gets dived by Uber Zerker and Ribro, and is getting collapsed on, and Boom gets him with the nano, or with a visor there. And Hefe gets a nice kill onto Akua, and Bashi's demeched. It's not looking good at all here for the Galactic Water Bears. Ribro just chucks out a bomb, just saying, don't mess with us, we want this point now. Shifty jumps in, he's got him and Bashi, but Ribro has the mech, he doesn't. Bashi tries to do the funny remech kill yet again, but just doesn't quite get it, and Shifty's left on the point alone, trying to push them back, and it's not enough. That's going to be the point for the Bengali Boom.
And that all starts with Jack going in with that duplicate on the Primal Rage. Juggles Akua so far away that the visor is basically unusable. They still nanovisor, but Jack is so far away it's only hitting the duplicate Primal Winston. So not as much value as Akua probably won there in that, that potential fight turner. And that's a great play by the DPS player, and some good coordination as well, because we had Uber taking the high ground position there. So the Bengali Boom looking strong, but Galactic Water Bears been in fight for it there at the end. It's a very close series so far when we're not having some weird DPS compositions running around.
Yeah. It's certainly not what the Galactic Water Bears wanted, but Nimbani definitely not their most comfortable pick. So it's not unreasonable for them to lose there. It's certainly them not losing on King's Row, which is a rare sight, though. Like you said, we've seen it recently, but I believe this is the comp, where Trey comes in and Bashi goes back out, and we've got the Papa Triste on the tank again. And so we're expecting to see, probably a Reinhardt. I know Papa Triste is a Reinhardt enjoyer, so an escort map.
A hammer enthusiast.
And a bio break. Indeed, escort map that's good for Ryan. Certainly there are some of them. Rialto, maybe. Oh, look at that. And Rialto's called for it, as Uber Zeker calls for the tactical bio break.
Yeah, it's going to be Rialto, so yep, that very brawl-heavy map. But when we saw, if I remember correctly, Jack is kind of cracked on the Widowmaker, so potentially seeing Jack pull that out here, or the Ashe. We know Akua is a very strong flex DPS player. I'm not exactly sure what the hit scan is, but Jack is putting in some work here on the DPS. Boom as well, swapping off to that kind of off roll on the flex DPS or the hit scan DPS, not playing tank. But they looked a lot stronger, the Bengali Boom, with that composition rolling out there. Ribro, when you think about it, swapping Boom off and putting Ribro on off tank, you expect to see a drop in play, but Ribro had a very strong performance there on Nimbani. The peel was excellent, and the bombs were well placed to create the space for the team. So I think Ribro had a pretty strong performance there on the off-tank role. Hefe, of course, on that Ana, putting up a very strong player of the match performance kind of right now. As well as, Withering has some good plays there on the Ana, but I'll just see. There's kind of like the best comp of what we've seen from Team 1 and the best comp from what we've seen from Team 2 right now. So
Yeah.
I guess there's just the best on best right now. And the biobake's already over. Somebody apparently just, went in a bottle right next to their desk, and we're ready to go again.
And indeed, we are ready to go again, and it'll certainly be interesting. Like you said, these two comps certainly seem to be the strongest from both teams, so it'll be nice to see how they perform against each other. And like you said, Boom 1011, you expect him just to be this force to be reckoned with on the off tank, but Ribro can certainly hold his own. I mean, that's sometimes all you need is just somebody who can hold their own play consistently and allow Boom to pop off on the DPS.
That's kind of the difference, I'd say, between like the D.Va and the Zarya. Like Boom on the Zarya is an absolute god carry level player, but the D.Va, D.Va can only do really so much as like carry. So I really think that putting Boom on the more carry role of DPS is probably a smarter move, and especially like if you're not playing to run the Zarya, Ribro can do a serviceable job on the D.Va.
But as we said, that we are of course going to Rialto, and like we said, these more brawl heavy maps, and you might wonder, what if we have a Boom there on the Zarya for the brawl? But I think we're likely to see a little bit of D.Va play coming out from Ribro here.
When you think about Rialto, there is a lot of high ground spam potential with snipers, so I like the D.Va a lot better here. Yeah. If we were to say go to, what am I trying to think? Like what's it happen? Like maybe like Junkertown, something like that, which you're not running brawl, but. Yeah, just a flatter map, I suppose, but he's storing the snipers on the map. Okay, D.Va's just better than Zarya. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. D.Va's better than Zarya in almost every map. But
D.Va is just the better off.
if you can run the Zarya on a map, that's a good sign. So Ruther's gonna play that Zarya, and I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, it's on map 1 as well with Withering only playing Zarya. Why don't we have Boom match the Zarya and just put in some work, because the D.Va's just gonna get melted by the Zarya beam from far away. But I guess it allows Boone to play that legs, because there is no D.Va DM in his face, so he can just pop off on the high ground, hold that space for his team, and hold up there. Jack's going in the Tracer as well. I think the Tracer works here as well. Not quite as good as, say, a Widowmaker and Ashe, but with no D.Va on the other side, Tracer can definitely find some value.
And yet again, we've got this very weird DPS lineup, like you were saying, for the Boom here, like they had on the Shrine of Nepal, I believe. And now we've got the Galactic Water Bears just walking up as Jack's sitting in their backline trying to pelt in, stall the card a little, annoy them, and Triste walks in. The lamps already had to be used for the side of the Water Bears, as Sin's just chucking in the healing, and not much is really happening, as finally Berserker walks forward and then instantly tugs back into this corner. High ground is being taken, however, by the Galactic Water Bears. They're probably getting ready to drop down on and take this engagement. As Ribbo flies up, gets knocked out, and then Triste jumps down. A big pin from Berserker, though, and the lamp has to be used yet again to save Triste, and the lamp comes out for Berserker. That's both lamps down, and a massive slam, getting 2 or 3, as Uber's just sitting down, and Sin uses his window thinking he can do something there, but unfortunately he's just gonna get killed there.
Absolute Chad moment from Berserker there. Hits that pin on a Triste, hits a shatter as well to rub it in, runs some salt in the wound.
Yeah, he just pins in, he gets the shatter, and no questions asked, he just throws it out.
What I want to see here is once Ribbo gets that mech back, I need them to stand high ground. They need to be up there, because it allowed Trey to go up there. They used the window. Luckily, Uber hits that shatter, or that window could do some massive damage. So I need your D.Va on the high ground to take care of that Baptiste up there. Big window, though, right away.
The window's just instantly thrown out. However, the Galactic Water Bears is just able to instantly move through it, as Withering's able to beam down Berserker. Jack, however, has 2. Ribbo gets a 3rd, and the EMP is invested. It gets 2, but I don't think it's quite enough, as Boom just uses the tactical visor and gets 2 to push the Water Bears back to spawn.
Yeah, and they use the EMP as well. That's devastating.
The EMP is certainly a choice to be made there. I don't know if it's exactly the right play, but
I didn't mind it.
Thought he could do a little bit more than he did, but
I didn't mind it. Everybody was critical, but just couldn't find the follow-up.
He gets called out by Jack here, and I think Akua might just not make it, as he just decides to jump into the drink and take himself out.
Yeah, you can't really take this fight anymore now without your Sombra. There's really nothing, no utility, no damage, so you gotta go. You have Grab Dragon, which is a combo you'll need to use, but Hefe has the Immortality Field, which is just an easy build my window maneuver to put it inside the Grab Dragon, so it might be a little bit rough here. And a Pulse Bomb enforces the Immortality Field out early.
Goes in and gets the Pulse Bomb stick on the tree stay, and the Immort must come out because they're just clumped like a can of sardines as they start making their way up to this high ground. And Ribro should be up there. He's up there to contest.
Ready for that Grab Dragon, waiting for the DM.
Oh, a really nice DM comes out from Ribro there. And he somehow kills Witherin with that bomb. I don't really know what happened there, as Uber is able to kill Tree Stay. And again, this is just not looking like a fight that the Water Bears was expecting it to be. Akua gets Jack, but Hefe comes out with the...
Akua's still in the back line, can't kill Hefe. Oh, no!
And Flom just kills HVSec and Boom kills Akua. I mean, again, they're just kind of... They're losing quickly in these fights, and then they're not able to quite make anything happen. They're just staggering themselves very late. That
was it. That was an official bat movement up there from Hefe. I mean, Akua's on a flank, hits a flash, but I mean, I don't know why Hefe puts the Immortality Field down. I don't know if he heard the boots of Cassie or something, but it was able to dodge it and stay alive. And they have another window out early.
Yeah, the window's just thrown out, but the grab is invested from Witherin here as the dragon goes out. Hefe, Flomdog, Uber, Zeker die. It's finally the fight that the Galactic Water Bears have been looking for, but they've only got 16 seconds left on the clock, so they gotta hurry and start making this progress in favor of time.
It's 16 seconds on the clock, but I don't know if they can touch.
I don't think they have touch. Certainly, I think they're gonna be able to. They might have. They definitely do have touch.
They're starting to move. Yeah, they're starting to move, and they have ults here. They have Shatter. They have Pulse.
Tristay's trying to.
Very doable. They got a cool. That's a huge pick. Uber to Shatter, it's over!
From Jack, and the Shatter's thrown out. It doesn't quite get anyone, but
yeah, it got
Jack
HV.
gets HV-sec.
It got HV in the ground.
Excuse me, it does get HV. And just another slow fight happening here as Boom's sitting in the back just throwing out the shurikens on Genji. Tristay comes out with the Shatter, gets 2. It's looking like a fight finally going back in the favor of the Galactic Water Bears. They're gonna be able to move this in. Just swinging around madly trying to hit somebody, and she finds Boom there as Uber shows up a little bit too late and dies.
A monster Shatter from Tristay there to claim that point for the squad. That was definitely needed because it's looking kind of scary there for the Water Bears, but hits that Shatter because HVSec got taken down by Uber's Shatter, so Tristay will just swing like a mad lady on point, absolute mad woman. Madam President, I should say, that's my nickname, but Madam President coming out there showing out the Reinhardt abilities. And now they're going to take high ground position.
High ground here, and Tristay's knocked off, so the rest of her team's just left up there. And they're going to have to quickly run back to point.
What is this play?
And Uber just comes down. Uber just says, I'm here. Tristay gets Flomdog, however, and the beat is invested by Shifty. I guess he decides it's needed here. The bomb comes out, but it's not quite enough. It's just a very clean fight here for the Galactic Water Bears. They're getting a little bit of momentum from first and are able to start making progress and win these fights when they need to.
That was a bit of an odd maneuver, just to rush the cart there with no real support. But
yeah, Uber certainly was a little bit zealous in wanting to drop down on point. I thought maybe he thought that he could chase them because Tristay was on the other side, but unfortunately she was able to get back in time and stop him from making the play he wanted to.
But the window comes out early.
The window's invested, but Tristay is standing inside of it, and as she goes for grab, she dies to Hefe. That's incredibly unfortunate. And Jack gets 2 with the pulse. Akua kills him, but it's not going to be enough because that's 4 for the side of the Boom, as they're able just to push them back.
So yeah, I mean, not only am I impressed that Tristay was okay, HVSec uses Pulse Bomb, that was interesting, but not only am I impressed that she stood in the window, but I'm very impressed that she, as Reinhardt, was going for a Graviton Surge, as you called, so that's very, very innovative from Madam President. She knows the track.
I meant to say Shatter. I meant, come on, this is my second day doing this. I'm not very good at it. Okay, what can you do? What can you do about it? Huh?
If I give you crap, you'll get better faster.
That's true. That's
true.
The
old like farmer dad mentality. Oh, but the Tristay hit blocks the Shatter, so big play.
Graviton Surge block, you mean?
Yeah, big grab block.
Kills Uber there.
The Pulse Bomb from Boom as well. Big play. They get Witherin. Witherin can't use. I mean, Witherin's got to use his grab at some point. I mean, there's no real combo aside from the Pulse Bomb, but HVSec, you know, smartly just. I mean, what is Trey using this window? Oh!
Sin invested the window here, but I don't quite agree with that because there's nobody there to really use it. And
it's desperation, yeah.
Indeed, and Tristay's just kind of sitting on point here, trying to make something happen, but the window comes out, and it's not looking good for her and the rest of the Galactic Water Bears.
There's the grab!
The grab comes out. It's a big grab. It's a massive grab, but I just don't think there's anybody there to follow up on it. Shifty has the beat to block the nice stick from Jack, but again, it's just Uberzeeker's on point swinging that hammer, and there's no way they can really stop him. Oh, as I say this, though, he's at 1 HP and he dies, and suddenly it's looking possible. The beat, though, coming out there from the boom makes it a lot harder. Akua's suddenly in, though, on the Doomfist. The grab comes out, and suddenly, again, it's just this fight that doesn't get cleaned up fast enough, and the Water Bears are coming out on top, and that's even going to be a cap, I think. As the Moira comes in, I'm not quite sure what Hefe was trying there. I guess he's just accepting his death and deciding to get back to the spawn room a little bit faster.
Flomdog holds that beat just a millisecond too long. Uberzeeker falls. Uberzeeker had the shatter. If they used that beat earlier, they clean that up. They get that shatter. They get the kills. They get it at the end of B. But now we're here on the point C. And, I mean, a very odd composition coming out. Very, very brawly. Very fast-paced for Galactic Wobblers. They got to push that W key. Absolutely no fear on the side of them. They need to show
Moira,
that.
You've just got to play while she still has resources up. But speaking of resources, she's somehow already built coal, and Triste's looking for a nice shatter here. The lamp comes out, and Triste, that's no shield. She can just get this. She lands it on Flomdog at the very least, who
doesn't die.
Who somehow gets out of that in a solo shatter with everybody behind her. HVSec gets Hefe though with the pulse bomb, and they're just able to get this cart right up to the arches. But the Boom certainly have the spawns coming back. Witherin just comes out with a Chad grab, but Uber replies with a shatter and gets 2 there. Uber kills Akua and and Boom gets HVSec and Witherin. And Triste's just gonna have to back up here, but it seems like she might not make it out.
Yeah,
and that's certainly not what you want to see. You know, we're coming on the last 16 seconds. You're gonna have a desperation touch. I don't know if she's gonna be even back in time for the touch. Certainly not.
We're back to absolute chaos going on right now. Everybody's just running around trying to get the touch.
Stumbling over my words.
HP gets flashed. Can't touch.
That's incredibly unfortunate. I mean, Akua gets Jack, which is nice, and Shifty's running in, but it's just not enough. The grab is big. And Flomdog comes in with a beat that, you know, a little bit of a celebration for him. Had the stats a bit.
I mean, the grab stops Trey from touching, stops Sin from touching. It's a huge play from Ribro there.
Indeed, and that's what they needed there to make sure that no momentum could be built up, because the Galactic Water Bears have been taking these incredibly what seems like unwinnable situations where all hope should be lost, and they're just turning it back into, you know, somehow they're coming out on top with a sudden surge of 4 or 5 kills, you know, at the very end.
Well, I mean, speaking of hope, the Galactic Water Bears basically get held to overtime on both point A and B, yet cap it and get basically the end of C. So, pretty good push for Rialto. Trey is speaking.
Trey saying something in Korean.
Yeah, he's watching Squid Game. That's really nothing. I got nothing to add on that. But Akua on the Pharah. That's a good pick for Rialto specifically, but if Jack sticks on this Widowmaker, Akua will have a bit of a rough time with the double hit scan on the other side, so it's up to Shifty Fish to pop off and show us the e-girl stats that he's got. He's got to do the super jump. He's got them all down. You know, he told me that he's been practicing in the range. He's ready to go.
And we've got Jack on the Widowmaker here. I don't know if you talked about that. Akua's on the
I did actually point that out.
Well, there you go. I might have been a little bit. I
think you're a little too distracted by the Squid Game references going on in chat.
The monkey is so talented. I must be honest. I got a little distracted. I'm sorry. Well, we still got the Brawly comp coming out here, just with the Jack onto.
Yeah.
It's Akua, but Akua gets Hefe there, which is big. I mean, certainly you don't want to see your BAP dead in a Brawl mirror. And Shifty just has the res. Shifty on the Mercy character. Not a sight we often see, but certainly a treat. And now we've just got Triste playing aggressive. Flomdog uses his amp on heals there, so they don't have that speed engage, as Akua's just able to sit up at the top and just shoot down rockets. Uber's at 1 HP, and he gets booped in almost, just barely. The boop's at a weird angle and not able to boop him back into Triste.
What a shot on the HV6. But don't matter.
There you go. The window's invested by Sen, and that's able to confirm that fight there. And 1 minute has been taken off the clock, and you know we have a very dominant showing of the first hold for.
pretty dominant, but they're gonna swap off. Jack's gonna go to the Echo. So I mean, a pocket Echo against a pocket of Pharah. I feel bad for Akua.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little rough.
It is indeed going to be a little bit rough. The Echo just has that spam damage that Pharah doesn't, or the speed of the spam that Pharah doesn't. But Triste comes out with a Shatter that doesn't quite get anyone but Hefe, and sadly they're not able to follow up with it as Jack just kills Akua like we were talking about.
Yep, it's gonna be very rough for Akua. Maybe they get the res, but a big Grav comes out there.
Big grab comes out. It locks down Triste, and as Witherin's just running back, but that's just going to be the blue in the kill feed there as the Bengali Boomer going to be able to move this point very close to the very close to cap. I don't know if they're quite going to get it without a touch, but they're certainly
they're
trying
gonna
to
get
stop.
it. Trey's still spawning. I don't think they touch without
And
Trey.
Jack, however, dies there, and Papa Triste's just walking up as Witherin is there with her.
Guess they do touch.
Witherin walks in a little bit, however, with no bubbles. Witherin just walks up and grabs, and I don't think that's really what we wanted to see there. As Akua comes out with a nice barrage, but it's still just a very scrappy fight with Triste walking forward with the Mercy Beam on her. Uber's at low HP, but you know I think they're gonna be able to bring this one out to Boomar, and as Uber kills HV Sec there and zones out Shifty.
And we have Sin and Akua tactically stacking themselves in the enemy spawn, trying to get a quick reset. But the ult spinning up here, you're gonna have Grav, you're gonna duplicate. You know, Withering, like you said, goes in, hits a pretty nice Grav, but has no follow up on it, no bubbles, no nothing. So Akua stops off the Pharah onto the Hanzo. Okay, I guess that's gonna stop Jack with the Pocket Echo. We'll see. Maybe a nice log down Main Street will end this Echo's reign of terror. But the ult spinning up here for the Bengali Boom, they could look to snowball this very fast. If they get a picker early especially, oh, but Hefe goes down.
And Hefe puts out this window. I think it's just a bit too forward for his team to really get any value off of it as Triste just quickly walks through it and says, no, I'm not going to let you get any value off this. And Flomdog just kind of sits on point, a sad and scared Mercy.
That was a fight. Hefe just drops that window, instantly dies. Jack duplicates in the middle enemy squad and dies with no follow-up. So that's two big ults kind of wasted there for the Bengali Boom, but they got to his high ground positioning away from Akua. They're just up there. Akua has a Dragon already. One fight has Dragon. Pretty big Ponzo play there. And, you know, if they can build Dragons up as fast as they are right now, I don't mind the swap.
Instantly, the Grav comes out from the Boom, and the window comes out from Sin for the Galactic Water Bears, and we've got 3 kills on both sides, but Flomdog has the res onto Ribro, so it's looking heavily in the favor of the Bengali Boom as HV Sec is picked off, and Akua's just sitting up here on top with Shifty, but I think they're just going to get poked out here as he jumps down. And no, they're not trying to chase him down as Akua's just able to stand back. Turn around and please deal with this crazy gamer. Okay, Jack gets Shifty.
Boom coming back from spawn has to look forward and sees the enemy.
And we've got a shatter here from Triste who doesn't hit anyone, I don't think.
No.
And
now you have the tactical visor as well.
Boom invests tact visor as Triste is being pinballed around by that Rhinehammer. Ribro invests the Graviton here, and it turns out to come out and help them by a lot. I mean, the window here with Boom, but he gets picked off by HV Sec, and the Galactic Water Bears are able to stabilize this after quite a long fight of just not a lot happening, it feels like, but eventually they stop them.
A long drawn-out fight, but you force off both tank ults from the Galactic Water Bears, so it's not the end of the world if you are the Bengali Boom. You have your Shatter, you're going to have Duplicate up very shortly here, but you're not going to build up very fast if Akua's finding those headshots. You know, I said the Hanzo are the best pick in the Echo, but Akua's proved me wrong and hitting these big shots, getting the Billions Dragons up very efficiently, so making me eat my words here, and almost as another Dragon, especially to try to push up here, it's going to be very dangerous.
Sin's getting ready to use the window, and he does indeed, and not much is going to come from it as he's able to hide away. And Jack goes in for the Chad Reinhardt pick as him and Uber just walk in. A double slam. HV Sec gets a nice dead on Flomdog though.
Oh no!
And you know with the dupe Reinhardt, not much you can really do. Unfortunately, as
Wither was solo shattered twice. That's so sad.
The Echo character simply says, no, you don't get to have fun today sometimes. So now we're going into third with 2 minutes on the clock. It's looking considerably better here for the Bengali Boom than it was the Galactic Water Bears. on their attack, I have to say. And
Yes, I mean, you got Triste's Shatter, but you have Grab, you have Window, you have Visor, so just one Grab, Window,
Valkyrie
Fire
even.
Strike could take this game over right now.
Yes,
They got it.
certainly. There's not much space left here for the cart.
They should use Grab, Window, Fire Strike to win this fight. They should use Grab, Window, Fire Strike to win this fight. They should Grab, Window, Fire Strike to... Okay, they got a Tactical Visor instead.
Tactical Visor comes out, and Papa Triste's shield gonna die here, and there you go. There's the grab you were looking for.
No Window.
It just lands on the Triste. The window comes out. It's a little bit late, but the spirit's there, and HV6's down from the Shatter.
It's okay. They're getting the kills. They're getting the kills.
It's a very scrappy fight, but yeah, they just get the kills. Witheren's kind of coming up to the point. Triste's just flying, or sorry, excuse me, Shift Day is just flying there, and they're not able to really hit him. Just truly the best Mercy player I've ever seen in my entire life as Triste gets there. Now Jack's back onto the duped Ryan though. He comes out with the Shatter, but he gets solo grabbed. Oh, now it's a duo grab. Triste's low, but she's sustaining. She comes out with a slam that doesn't quite get anyone. HV gets Jack. This is suddenly looking winnable for the Water Bears.
Oh, but Akua dies with Visor.
Akua dies there. Akua dies with the Visor. Flomdog gets the res on Jack. Triste, however, kills Uber, but now it's looking a lot worse. I need to stop calling these things, saying that it looks winnable because
It's not.
Because it's not. The Boom just come in and are able to cap the point there.
And that comes back to Ribro pushing forward and forcing out Sin's Wraith form on Mora very early in that fight. You know, so you lose that Mora healing, that sustain. If I think if Trace is up there for a little bit longer, the Galactic Warriors might hold that. But Akua dying with the Tactical Visor just got on, so couldn't quite use it. It's a very bad luck, you could say, very unlucky for the Galactic Water Bears, and now they're at match point. You know, that was their map pick, and that was kind of their comp that they wanted to run. So you're starting to shiver in your boots a little bit if you're the Water Bears. But we've seen crazier comebacks before.
Indeed, and now we're coming in with the map pick again from the Galactic Water Bears, and it's going to be on a 2CP or hybrid, correct? So it's going to be interesting to see if they go with the veto, which, knowing that team, having played with a very similar roster, I would imagine they're probably going to veto it. Though we might see some HVSec Torb shenanigans come out on a 2CP, just maybe.
I mean, perhaps, but yeah, I don't know. If you'll excuse me for a moment, though, I gotta change the TV. I don't want to watch the World Series. I want to watch Vikings football.
Of course, Vikings football. Big Vikings football fan here. I love that.
Oh, there it is. All right, cool. Okay, I'm back. So
Wow.
I want to say what happened there is Jack played Echo and the Galactic Webbers did not play Echo. So
And that really seemed like what it was there. I mean, Akua kind of came out and won bigly. Well,
yeah, because Akua
had been winning bigly like on Numbani, but they're not. He's not quite there on. He doesn't have it on.
played Bara, which was a good swap, but they go to the Echo and then they really fail to adapt accordingly to the Echo. I mean, Akua was pounding on the Hanzo, do not get me wrong. Fine headshots,
Yeah, he
fine
absolutely
picks, big
was.
dragons, but it's just the Echo going uncontested in the sky
stronger.
for... I mean, if you leave the Echo alone for like one fight, you'll basically lose Rialto, which is all they really needed. You know, you can headshot, you can dink Jack as many times as you'd like, but there's really nothing you can do once you get all the duplicates, and of course, Withering gets solo shattered twice, so that's unfortunate. Not much a DPS pick can do in that spot. But yeah, we're going to Temple of Anubis, actually, is going to be our next pick. And we're going to Anubis. And I don't know if that's the best pick, because you do like to run that... another bio break? Oh my...
Another bio break? Somebody on the Booms is struggling currently.
Someone on the Boom got a
pray-
boom.
I pray for them. Good luck, soldier. But yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe you're trying to get Trise to play Orisa and Withering on Sigma?
Maybe Monkey. I know the Monkey on first point's always kind of enjoyed. You can take the soft
I mean,
dive
yes,
on
because I forced it in Season 2 does not mean it's a good pick.
I mean, you know.
Monkey's good on point B specifically. I really like him on point B, but point A could be a little rough because there's just a lot of spots that the enemy team can rotate away from you. But if they keep running it down main like in comp, yeah, sure, it's going to work out. But if they just go in that side room, you're a bit in trouble as the scientist.
Indeed.
But point B is really good because they have to come through your area, so you get a lot of cleave damage, which is what you want. But so I'm thinking perhaps some double shield shenanigans, or maybe like a Risa Diva, or maybe they're just gonna force the brawl yet again and try to run it here. But brawl's a little rough on the defense. The attack is fine, which is what of course they're doing first since they're on red. So you could set a pretty staggering time bank and just drain clock on your defense next time. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna have to favor the Bengali Boom here, unless maybe Akua. I mean, Akua, if I remember correctly, is a very fanatic Junkrat enjoyer, which could play into their favor on this point specifically. Both teams
the first
are,
point
so.
Junkrat.
Yeah, first point Junkrat, point B Junkrat, point C Junkrat, 2CP. Yeah, Junkrat's just good on Anubis.
Certainly nothing to scoff at. Yeah.
Yeah, the point C Junkrat, nothing to scoff at.
Yes.
So legendary. I've never seen point C capture on top of Anubis. Because Junkrat is so broken there,
Yeah, I've never seen Junkrat lose on point C Anubis. That is for sure.
So I mean, we'll have to see what the teams come on. The defense is what's interesting me from both these sides because they play in the brawl. So maybe some research shenanigans. No, they're gonna lock the brawl with the Junk. Kind of expected Entreese is gonna go Winston. She might have some trouble getting in here against the Junkrat, but I guess I think Triste is accepting the main tank role of the sacrificial lamb, so she's gonna jump in, eat every single cooldown, die, do the speed run, do the spawn rooms 80% speed run world record, but then Akua's gonna come in and clean it up. So maybe that's their plan.
Well, they're running the double bubble here, so she's trying to get the charge for Withering here and a little bit of that ult charge for Sin, hopefully, and they're probably just going to be playing heavily off of Nano as she maybe soft dives onto these this middle high ground-esque area.
Could definitely work. She just has to be careful and not get blown up by Boom. I mean, I think if Triste can soft dive, like you said, and even just survive, and if she gets trapped, but she's already trapped.
And Withering heroically just decides to stand in front of her with the bubble. Maybe a little greedy from him to get a little bit of that charge, but... And she jumps in, and there's the dive, and that's not a soft dive. She full commits and is gone in a second.
No, knowing Triste, knowing her playstyle, I don't know if she knows the term soft dive. Triste is very aggressive on the main tank, whether it be the...
all in. He's just standing there in the front line for a moment there.
The Buenos Aires Beebles, the last year on the Bilbies, whatever. It's just Triste is very aggressive, so you got to be there to follow her up, and there wasn't any that time. And I mean, Jack with the nice ult percentage, and I mean Trey has Nano though, so you can use that on Triste to take that space from him. Go forward.
And now Triste, she jumps up and she's in, and they've got the Nano like you said, and she's walking in on HV Sec, gets Boom, and Triste's just here getting massive cleave, building up that Primal Rage, which she's got the window is forced to come out and is already gone as Akua gets Jack. The pin comes out but doesn't quite connect as Triste now is primaling onto
they find Shifty. No.
On anyone, but yeah, this is just a very Galactic Water Bears heavy fight as the Boomer just slowly getting picked off one by one, and there you go.
I guess if you look at the bright side, you force out Primal Rage from Triste, but look at the downside, you fed Duplicate, you fed Grab, and you also fed High Noon. So you can really use these 4 ults and just look for a snowball because you only have your support ults used on your side if you are the Bengali Boom.
And Jack has to swap Echo late off of that Widow, so he's just got no ult charge here for this fight. So this is going to be a heavy,
it's going to be very hard to defend. So if they can pull it off, I feel pretty good about a very long time bank withdrawal. But Withering goes in with no personable. Yeah, that's a bit of a.
Withering's kind of made this play multiple times where he's walking in, maybe thinking this team's there with him, but just not quite. I mean, Shifty's there with the res, luckily, and it's a lot of kills coming out from the Galactic Water Bears here. The bomb comes out from the dupe, doesn't get anyone, but it doesn't need to. It just needs to make that space. Uber slams, but it's just Triste in her bubble as HV High Noon's trying to stop Uber there from going too hard in the paint. Flomdog's heroically trying to, stall out the point a little bit, but as HV sits at 5 HP and gets picked off by Hefe, the bomb comes out from Ribro as he's hiding in this back room, still as Baby Diva, and he finally decides to go back into mech as Akua kills Boom. Uberseeker's back with the pin. It's a big charge. And suddenly it's looking like this could be a 2 CP moment.
The
Boom
DPS.
gets in, Akua gets
Oh!
jacked, Ribro gets 50, but Ribro's out of mech. This is such a back and forth fight. It's definitely a 2
No,
CP
this
fight.
is 2 CP moment.
Shifty,
Oh!
Shifty just decides that, or sorry, Trise decides that it's her time to leave as she jumps out. 69 HP, nice on the monkey.
Oh, that is a disgusting 2 CP moment right there. The Galactic Water Bears did
stagger
everything.
late on Akua.
They did everything right there. You lose Withering early, you get the res, and you go in with your ults, and you take that aggressive fight. They did everything right, but it's just 2 CP is just too strong.
Yeah.
And now you're going into Blade, into Shatter. You have Nano, you have the Valkyrie, but you wasted 2 minutes already on that one attack, and that's 2 CP in a nutshell. Now you're walking into some ultimate enemy team, and the time bank could become scary and scarier.
Jack's just sitting here in the back picking away at HVSec. As Akua gets ulted, trying to build up that dupe a little bit faster, and Shifty's sitting in Valk, just kind of floating around, doing what he can, as Jack starts winning bigly. And Shifty probably should get out of here, I would have to say, as we've got the rest of the team just being pushed away.
Yeah, both Jack and Boom winning bigly there, actually.
Jack invests the pulse bomb inside the enemy spawn and kills Sin, but HVSec says, no, you're not going to get to leave after that. You're not going to get to play anymore. Goodbye.
Well, what they do there is they nano Akua in, but what happens there is Boom responds by blading the backline and forces him to retreat and look at him, and Jack's there to follow up. So the nano echoes alone on point and finds really nothing. Now Teresa uses Primal, still down Trey. And now she's going to go even further in. Maybe just trying to get some charge, and now she's going to die.
I'm not sure. I mean, they get Uber off of it from the boops from her, so that's...
And Trista's still alive.
But Witheren's by himself. Oh, no, he's got the follow-up here this time, as Witheren's standing here on point with the rest of his team. Then kills Jack, but Boom gets Shifty, and that's certainly a big pick. That means there's no res available here for the Galactic Water Bears. As the bomb comes out from Ribro, but doesn't quite hit anyone. Sits inside the monkey bubble instead.
The bomb gets nothing but the remech damage onto Withering, forces the Zarya to retreat, and they're not really able to get any more follow-up damage. And yet again, more 2 CP moments coming out here, and the staggers are devastating.
And yeah, this is just what seemed like such a nice momentum shift or momentum carry for the Galactic Water Bears is suddenly turned into just another 2 CP moment, as they're not able to quite get their footing in any of these fights. And Akua's even swapped onto Genji here to make something happen, searching for a Nano Blade, and if anybody can get it and get value off of it, certainly he can, but Ribro's sitting here by himself on the side. He flies away down to the bottom as Akua's just behind Berserker here, hitting into him. Withering invests the grab as Papa Triste is hit with a Nano.
Boom gets a kill, though, the Dry Blade gets 2.
And HVSec, yeah,
but they get the
certainly
kills.
What you're looking for, and Ribro, in Baby Diva form, just punches the Reinhardt. But it's seeming good for the Water Bears all of a sudden. Hefe's kind of sitting here on point, leapfrogging about, as Uberzieger can't really walk in because he's just a single Rein, and a single Rein is a very sad Rein. HVSec High Noon's far back, though, down main. He's not really getting much value, though. He's zoning the point. As Akua kills Ribro, gets him DMAC, then gets the kill. And Boom's sitting on point with the rest of his team. I think we're about to see another 2 CP moment. I don't want to say so, but
no, we're not.
He comes in with a massive shatter. Gets
maybe the res. Oh no!
Oh, and suddenly again it seems to be another 2 CP moment as Uber's coming back, and Akua gets a kill on Jack, but it's 2 CP. We're playing a Temple of Anubis. They decided not to try to even veto, and this is what comes from it, unfortunately.
That's
Triste on the ball, trying to run in, and
she gets body blocked.
She's body blocked and doesn't have the touch. Ribro throws out the bomb. It's just there's nothing that can be really done there. It's the Galactic Water Bears played that fight perfectly on any other map type. They would have certainly won, but on 2 CP on Temple of Anubis, they get caught in that vicious cycle and can't quite make it.
They basically played every fight perfectly and still couldn't cap because it's just 2 CP. Jack swaps over the Tracer, and Jack was just so elusive on that Tracer, not allowing anybody to touch him, as well as Boom just jumping around the Genji for absolute life and death situation, just jumping around, dashing everywhere he can, and getting the resets, and Hefe and Flomdog swapping Flomdog with a huge Valkyrie there when it looked all but lost. Hits that Valkyrie, able to get that Resurrect onto Jack, brings that Tracer back in the fight, allows even more stuff to come through, and they can't break it. And oh no, we've seen some Bastion double shield TP shenanigans.
I'm seeing a Boom 1011 Bastion along with a Jack Symmetra, and then they're not standing inside the spawn room currently. This seems to be it seems that they're in deep discussion here, sitting inside the hangar, as they're trying to think about what to do.
I also do want to point out though,
this
Akua
out.
built a blade in like 30 seconds, and they still couldn't win. That's 2 CP.
I mean, you can only feel bad for the water bears here. As again, it seemed like they were playing that fight perfectly. They got like 5 kills. It felt like at one point, but then one person stalls for just long enough to get the next person in, to get the next person in, and the vicious cycle.
It appears that with the the Genji scouting, they know that Bastion's a pick, so they're ready for this TP. But they're going for a weird
huge
rotation
pull
here.
from Uberzerker, it must be said, by the way. But no follow up there, unfortunately, as Papatriste sitting here on the Rhine, and the setup is getting ready. Boom 1011 is waiting for his Symmetra, getting ready to do some of the funny Bastion things as the Galactic Water Bears back up into this right side.
Oh, they got this split angle going on right now.
Oh, and there you go. Boom 1011's on the high ground. He's got the Mercy Pocket. He's got the Baptiste there with him, though he gets forced down off of high ground somehow, and it's looking like a very Galactic Water Bear heavy fight.
Shifty's in the middle of their team, not taking any damage. How is that? He did that twice. That's
And Ribro gets picked out here. There goes Flomdog, and yep, I imagine we're going to see some comp changes here, and we certainly do. We see Boom 1011 go on to the Soldier 76, and Jack instantly swaps to the Echo.
How do you not punish Shitty Fish there? Shitty just dives into your bunker. As a Lucio takes 0 damage, just punches your Bastion to death and boops him off the high ground. That's a huge play from Shitty Fish.
Shifty is perhaps the best Lucio player that we've ever had in the league. I'll put that on Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, on Jonathan. I'll put it on Frog. I'll put it on Frog. How about that? How's that sound? But look at the ults building up here for the Water Bears. They have the Molten Core. They have the window. They're going to use it in the small room.
Yeah, Since used the window, the Molten Core is thrown out. Shifty gets a kill on Uber just through sheer force of will.
But they get the res.
Flomdog gets the res, however, and you've got Jack in the back. He's applying some of that poke out, but then HVSec gets a nice shot and finishes him off. The Flux is committed here as it picks up Uber as well as the Mercy and the BAP, and it's a 3K, excuse me. Yeah, Boom as well. It was a four-person Flux with Uber finished off afterwards.
A large Flux, maybe not needed at the end, but does clean up the fight, stops the staggers, and there you get the stagger kill anyway, so time isn't quite on their side. But you look at the tank also building up as well as the Visor, looking to build it up here, could perhaps look to move in. Akua, with the dry blade, will have to go in and find that value. No real stuns, though, aside from like the Sigma Rock, so this blade could be massive if they can, disperse.
Indeed, and we've got Jack just killing that HG Sec turret real fast. As Ribro comes in with the Flux of his own, gets 3.
Nice
Sin, Triste. However, the beat was there from Shifty. Now, Akua pulls out the blade, gets Hefe. It's a dry blade, but he's getting value off of it. I mean, HV Sec gets Ribro here, and Flomdog, and this seems just like another win for the Galactic Water Bears, and the Boom are going to have to retreat back to spawn.
Yeah, huge blade. Huge blade from Akua gets Hefe. That's the main That's the main person you want. If you're gonna get a solo blade, you gotta get on that one person, and they staggered Jack out as well. So
and Jack just gets staggered again. This keeps happening to him. He's trying to hide away in these little rooms, but unfortunately, the Water Bears are a little bit wiser about that and are searching him down and getting him out late.
HV Sec here with another Molten Core. We'll look to stop the rotation here from the Bengali Boom, and oh, that early pick on a Boom basically seals this fight. You gotta die faster. You gotta just feed an enemy team.
Yeah, you just have to bite the bullet there. And Flom reses Boom here.
They do get HP though, going a little too aggressive. If they get Akua here as well, but Akua
just says, "I'm playing Genji and I get 2 dashes on you," and he wins. He wins by a lot. So Akua on the Genji here has really been just winning this for the Water Bears here. As Sin comes out with the window, and we've got 4 seconds left to touch. Only Uber can. He has to charge to get on the point, and I think Triste just makes a shatter of her own. I mean, Uber's secret but it's gonna take a lot. Flomdog gets off that res, and the shatter comes out. It gets Triste, and suddenly this is not looking entirely lost. Sin's just standing up on the high ground. Akua invests the blade, but I think it might be a little too late.
And maybe not! Sin and Trey still there?
Maybe not. It's, you know, I was about to say a 2CP moment, but no, this is just good. A fight that's just not being carried out very well at the end for the boom. And Ribro C9 somehow? I don't know how he wasn't on point there.
Holy,
but,
what a clutch.
That was certainly a clutch. I mean, Akua gets the blade there and is just able to make it work with Sin up on the top, shooting down, getting a lot of value there, and certainly not what I expected to see. I thought, you know, they had somehow gotten this out of nowhere, but it comes back and there you go.
Yeah, that's you know, we questioned Akua with the blade, but I thought that Sin was dead, but Sin was there, able to use the immortality field, pumping the heals on the blade, keep him alive, and Akua's just jumping around. Basically what Boom did on point B, and staying alive. So a huge play, huge clutch play from those two. And we're heading to a map 5, and I don't know exactly who's gonna snag this one. It depends on the map choice, probably, but.
And it is the Bengali Boom's map pick, and we're going into control. Knowing these teams, I imagine a very possible Lijiang, mayhaps, or what are some other control maps that Uber Zerker and his team might like to run? I know they're very a brawl-heavy team. You know, again, we've got Uber with a Ryan character.
Yeah, but from what we saw on Nepal, the Symmetra was heavily in favor of the Galactic Water Bears. So
Akua's Symmetra was quite strong, and that's true. You might not want to take him to Lijiang, which is such a Symmetra heavy map, as they pick Oasis. An interesting pick to be
don't mind
sure.
the Oasis pick. I don't remember if they've won or lost it in the first couple weeks, but
I certainly don't disagree with it. But it's interesting to see.
I think it's the map that you pick because you're the most comfortable with it. With considering we played it for the first 2 weeks, it's probably the one you scrim the most, the one you're most comfortable on. So
they're just going for the comfort pick, what they know, what they feel confident that they can win.
And it also allows Jack to pop off on the Tracer on certain points as well. And it also kind of limits the brawl potential more or less in a couple points.
The Echo is still allowed, of course, on the map like maybe down, or not downtown, but city center. You might see a little bit of the Echo, but I'm not certain. I think you're right. The Tracer pick here is very likely. And of course, you do have University, which is very heavy brawl focus, but we're moving into City Center.
Yeah, as we're on City Center here, this is where the brawl is not the best. But Power Triste is still on the main tank, so Triste can't play the monkey. Witherin, maybe there's some double bubble yet again here. Jack on the Tracer's been pretty good today, so I'm expecting him to play that here. And or maybe the Echo as well, yeah, either one works. Akua's sticking with the Genji, though. Wait, looking for those Nanoblade win conditions. And, I mean, on Oasis City Center specifically, if you can just cap the point early with your Zarya on points, you know, you kind of get the high ground a little bit, but you put your Zarya on point, stabilize and anchor, you can stall this point out very, very long, because it's just a big circle, but the giant, I don't know, the giant phallic object in the middle prevents the sightlines, really, from either side from one or the other, so you can just play Ring Around the Rosie and stay alive for as long as possible. Especially on Tracer, so very stallable if you could just Zarya there to anchor and cut the point early. Feel good about the Galactic Water Bears' chances here, but it's not to Boom and Jack yet again.
And here comes Jack, and he's already just chunking away at Papa Triste, who's already at half health, and has had to jump off of high ground and back on.
Bravely jumps back up, but they find Akua.
Yeah, and then there goes Akua, and that's just the Echo value. You know, the value from the Echo is just can't be understated. With that beam, it's just so powerful. It shreds through tanks and DPS alike. But yep, there you go. There it is again. The beam, and Jack's just sitting in. Oh. Jack gets all 6. So I would say that's a pretty. Sorry, 5.
Yeah, Jack gets 5.
Jack gets 5.
So that's a pretty strong diff, though, so it's worth it. But yeah, you know, I said bravely jumps back up. Maybe a little foolhardily jumps back up is the better terminology. You know, she's by herself. Especially because he's a bubble early to go in, so there's no bubble from Withering for the double bubble comp. So Trista's up there alone. Force a drop, leaves Akua out to dry after the resources have to go to the monkey, and now, I mean, Akua just gets shredded. Oh, nice sleep though on a Jack, but I think there's body blocking. Yeah, there's nothing follow up. And Jack almost has duplicate here, and again, the stall can start, and it's looking pretty good for Bengali at the moment, but perhaps Akua can clutch.
Up on this right side, and Boom dies, or Boom gets in there, and it's very hard for a monkey to walk in when they have no Uh, no Ana, but HVSec gets Ribro, so maybe not all hope is lost.
Oh.
HVSec's just in. He's winning by a lot, but Jack invests the duplicate, and you must expect this is what you really want to see. It's certainly not looking good for the Water Bears anymore.
Oh, big grab
It's a
in the
grab
middle,
on
but no
three.
kills come out of it.
No kills come out of it. Instead, we get actually a kill from Witherin and onto Boom, and Akua breaks out the duplicate. But then Jack gets nanoed. He's able to kill Sin. Akua gets Flomdog, but Uber gets Akua, and Witherin gets Jack. Now suddenly it's looking a bit more winnable. The Shifty Fish certainly thinks so as the Invest Rally gets Ribro out of mech, and there you go. We finally see the point flip after a 72% hold very early on.
You have Primal. I'm not sure why you're playing out the point like that. You should have gone on the point and stalled that out. You could have got to 99, make it a one-fight territory, because now if you lose the point, it's still one fight that the Galactic Water Bears can come back and win. Now look at them all splitting up. They have Nanoblade, they have Grab, they have Primal. This is a very good start here for the defense on the point for the Galactic Water Bears. So it's probably up to Jack going in again and finding 3 or 4 kills on the dive.
Yeah, I mean,
but they're gonna go in. Here comes the Nanoblade.
He's trying to do, but the Nanoblade comes out and gets Jack, and that's Akua just saying, no, don't dive my support, you don't get that value, and then he goes onto their supports instead, and he's getting the value. And Ribro throws out a bomb, but it just doesn't quite connect with anything. As Papa Triste invests the Primal, but as we say that, Akua must go too deep, and he dies, unfortunately, to Uber Zerker, and HVSec gets Hefe. It's just a very, now we're suddenly just getting the trades back and forth, but it still seems to be in favor of the Water Bears, but Jack slowly starts moving back in, and Boom gets the kill on Shifty. The Grav is invested by Witherin, but they're not able to do much with it, and as he tries to do the funny Zarya jump, he takes himself out. And this seems like it's likely lost for the Water Bears unless they can pull a miracle out of nowhere. Jack has to invest the duplicate though, so that's, at least you get that out, if you must accept it to be a lost fight.
I mean, your Tracer is still on point too,
not
so...
enough.
Oh, what an eat from Ribro, though!
What a neat from Ribro, and then, you know, there's where we see the difference between the Zarya and the Diva. But speaking of that, yes, sorry, I've not played this game in a while. Speaking of that, though, Witherin swaps on to Diva, almost like he knew what I was talking about, or maybe I saw him and thought subconsciously. But
and HV
now
goes
he's gonna be able to eat a
Cassidy.
little bit of that damage from the Jack character.
Yeah, HV goes Cassidy, and they're trying to stop Boom 10-11 from being a nuisance in the backline, but Jack is still there. They have the Pulse Bomb, they have the Nano Boost. They're going to walk in here with it. Uber goes in with that Primarch, with the Nano Boost. They find the Cassidy, HV goes down.
Yeah, and Witherin's taken out of mech here by Jack, but Akua gets Hefe, and Uber Seeker's invested his Primal Rage pushing away Shifty, but Akua has pulled out the blade, and he's going hard in the paint. He gets Flomdog with it. The bomb's invested by Ribro, but it doesn't hit anyone. And the point has been flipped in favor of the Water Bears. Yeah. As Shifty just says, let's win this, get the Brig armor up for the next fight. You know, it comes out a little bit late, but at the very least they're all going to have 100 extra HP and going into the next. I say that though, and not everybody stood around them to get some of that nice armor.
And no ults on either side, so it's just a mechanics battle here. And Uber goes down early, not a good start.
Uber goes in early because he has to get the touch and is instantly melted by Witherin. As Akua goes deep and Hefe invests the biotic grenade against him. As he's trying to push out Boom. Well, we've got Jack moving in on Triste along with Ribro, but Ribro's getting just pelted from behind. The bomb's thrown out by Witherin, and it gets Hefe. Just Hefe's caught out there by the bomb, as Ribro's taken out of mech again, and Boom gets HVSec. However, it's not lost yet quite for the Boom, but it's certainly in the favor. Certainly in the favor of the Galactic Water Bears. We've seen some crazy stuff happen, but I'm afraid Jack might not be able to do what he did, and in fact he does a little bit of the Charlie Niner, and some might say.
And that starts with a god tier flashbang from HVSec, staying on the high ground, flashes Jack, and I'm trying to think of who else it could have been. I think it must have been Jack and Flomdog. Flashes them both, doesn't allow Jack to follow up on the dive with Ribro in the backline, so a hero play from HVSec, and now we're on the brawl point, so you got favor the Water Bears here. It's looking pretty scary unless Jack can maybe get some value on the May, but I think the Nano or the Blade has been doing very good for Akua so far, and Akua is him and Jack are trading blows back and forth, but Akua might come out on top here, playing the more carry hero of the Symmetra.
Indeed, and now we've got the start here of University, which is a very brawl-heavy map, as Akua swaps onto Semester, but no, that's just to get the team out as he goes on to Reaper and walks in with his, gets ready to walk in with his team.
Nice wall.
But a nice wall comes out from Jack, it must be said, as Triste and Witherin were left inside, but HV says, no, I'm just gonna Cassidy the few boom 1011, and Kua gets 2, as well as Sin and HV finishing up this fight as Jack just it's nice block, kind of just staggering himself there.
Yeah, boom 1011, caught a bit off guard, but HV doing a nice flank, gets that flash fan on that Cassidy, takes the Cassidy out of the fight early, and doesn't allow Boom to build it anywhere towards that High Noon, so a huge advantage here for the Water Bears to get the point first, and look at that grab advantage here from Witherin, showing them more comfortable on this area.
Just as opposed to Ribro, and you know, Jack's at 1 HP. He has to throw out the wall. It's almost like he was just trying to displace him so he doesn't die there. And flashbangs are traded, and again HV just goes, no, I'm gonna win the Cassidy duel here. The window's invested, but I don't think much is gonna come from it.
It forces them to back off. It forces
them to back off. And then that's, you know, I think the Galactic Water Bears are absolutely fine with taking that. Is just allowing them to stabilize, just allowing Triste to get back to full HP, get ready. As Uber walks in, taking a little bit of a wide angle, and the grab comes out.
Big grab.
It's a nice wall, but and Witherin gets 3 with a melee. It's a huge grab, but it's an even bigger melee. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Even bigger punch.
He decided that it was his time to win just by pressing the tilde key. I think is the bog standard, but I used mine on scroll wheel down.
Mine is currently a mouse 5, but yeah, huge play from Witherin. That window allows him to build that grab because Witherin just got before that came down. The Shatter comes down, finds nothing. They blows the back line.
They thread the needle of the Shatter, and just nobody quite gets hit. As Witherin once again takes himself out tactically, as he realizes this fight's lost. But Akua says, "No, Witherin, you shouldn't have taken yourself out. As I'm gonna win this now." And Shifty invests the beat and says, "Here we go." And they go. Akua just, you know, we saw Jack get the 5K, but now Akua's time to shine. He gets his 4.
And they still have all his ults.
Indeed, that was really that was incredibly unexpected to come out there from Akua, but I guess I thought they won, and they just have to take the solo shatter and HV now. As,
that's a good start, though, because now they're all back with beat. The grab is invested here, too.
The grab's used. You kind of have to use it here. It's the, you know, last fight territory as Papa Triste kills Uber Zeker with the Flame Strike. Akua, though, is still just pelting in the damage, and they're not really able to deal with him, it feels like. Boom gets Papa Triste and Jack kills Sin, but we've just seen a miracle happen, though the spinny move is no longer in play, so I think this one is going to go in favor of the Booms.
Yeah, Boom a little sick of getting flash fanned by the Cassidy of HV6, swaps over to the Genji for the stall, is able to make it work, but now look at this really weird comp they have. Genji Tracer with the Zarian Czar. They gotta play super fast, super aggressive here to not allow the Cassidy and the Reaper to get value in the long fight. So they gotta go. They gotta press the W key and, you know, not have no fear. Just go for a flank pulse.
Yeah, Jack's sitting here with a little bit of a flank. He's got the pulse ready. He's on Sin. He's shooting at him, and he comes up behind, and he decides not to invest the pulse there. He's very you know, holding back the Q button there as he realizes his team's got the space to work with. He doesn't really need to invest the ults there, and they're just able to push them into spawn. And suddenly the momentum shift is incredible. You know, it was such a dominant playing here from the Water Bears, but now all of a sudden we've got the Boom saying, no, we're here to say, you know, we're here to show you that we're not going out on this map, or at least they don't want to.
It is one fight territory, though. You have all his ults built up here as well. You have the grab window fire strike, you have the Reaper ult, so you have a lot to use. The pulse doesn't find anything, and they use the grab. Here comes the blade out from Boom.
It doesn't. It does. In fact, it does.
Okay.
It gets 2. I was thinking that Boom was on the red team, but that is incorrect. In fact, Boom just won by a lot, which has been a great saying of mine today.
And they use window and grab and get nothing. And Ribro still has the grab so that's looking pretty good here for Bengali. Actually, one fight and both tank ults. You got to look up for that Reaper ult, and maybe Triste can hit a hero shatter and bring it back for her squad. But it's Ryan v Ryan, the man on man for the win.
Walking up, she's at half HP, but she's still looking for the shatter. It comes out with the grab from Ribro and then Triste does get that massive shatter. Berserker's just not ready for it inside the grab. He's just thinking about swinging into the juicy cleave, but no, Triste's there with the massive shatter, and that seems like it's probably going to be game.
He charged! Don't charge a grab when they have shatter!
And, you know, it's things like this, if you're not quite ready for it, you don't quite think about, you know, in the moment you're wanting to get that cleave, and then something like that happens, and it goes from looking completely won to not winnable at all, and that's the GGs to the Galactic Water Bears who come out with a win. And a pretty tight 3-2.
You come in with one win condition, that's Triste, hit a shatter, and she delivers, hits a 4-man, and Akua's able to follow it up with that Death Blossom, so a huge play out from Triste there on the main tank roll. And that's what brings it home for them and sends the Bengali Boom down to 1-2. And, yeah, pretty good play coming out there at the end in that last fight. And we are, again, 3-2, so we gotta give ourselves a player of the match. And there's a lot of people on the Galactic Water Bears you could give it to today. You know,
Certainly.
Someone like, you know, Sin on the off, playing, I guess, quote-unquote off role, but he wants to play support, so doing pretty well at it. Then you have... What else am I thinking about?
Triste had a pretty dominant showing on Rhine today in a lot of her maps, though.
Yeah, she did.
Certainly Akua, though. I'm a little bit.
I don't think you'd be wrong. I think Akua is the...
I'm trying to think of the word here, but it's not coming to my mind. I'm not an English major. But he's been playing quite well tonight, or he played quite well tonight, and was very good. I mean, all of them played well, though. Every single player on the team, you know, we had Withering Boy with big grabs. We had Akua with just massive blades, and when he was playing the Echo character, he was winning by a lot. Papa Triste, etc., etc. So it's certainly a hard MVP to give, but I think I know my pick.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go through and name all the people on the Water Bears, but Akua was the standout. The standout performer to me. I think
he played very well.
That was the differential, and a very good match from both sides. You know, Boom fallen at 1-2, but they've lost 2 map 5s and won a 3-0. So, you know, they're probably the best 1-2 team in the league right now. Yeah, I think they shouldn't be too down about themselves, but the Water Bears coming in clutch there at the end with Kua and Triste combining for that big play. And I mean, they've all left their channel, so we can't do an MVP interview. So we can just we can send ourselves off here.
We can just call it here.
Yeah, nothing really. Why don't you go ahead and advertise your next stream there?
Yeah, we've got another game coming up at 8:30, in which I'll be casting again. Which I think I've been told I'm casting with Adam Frobel, the man himself. So that'll be interesting, though. My voice is certainly dying after this one, but that's okay, because you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
You saying that you haven't done a 12-hour trick or treat stream?
I have not.
That wasn't fun last year. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you have the option, I would
do not cast 12 hours of games. I would agree.
Worst mistake of my life. The Peter Griffin running from the airplane meme. Do not volunteer to cast 2 games of Trick or Treat. Worst day of my life. But yeah, that's really all we got. 3-2 favor of the Galactic Water Bears. Why don't you let's hear your best outro here, Max.
Okay, well, alrighty. Well, I've been your caster, Max Rincewind, along with we've been your casters, Max Rincewind, along with Booney and Booney as well on the prod, doing very well tonight. And this was the Galactic Water Bears versus the Bengali Boom, with the Galactic Water Bears coming out with that nice map 5 victory on Oasis. It was a great game. Thank you.
It was 208-30 for our next